Good afternoon. Dairy farming. So, students, open your textbook and take page 299 and write today's date for dairy farming. So, we are going to see the continuation of this lesson, economic biology. Dairy farming involves the raising of cattle for milk production. So, exclusively for milk production and milk products and milk products only we are going to see under this dairy farming. So, what are the steps involved? How do we collect the milk and how it is getting processed? And how the milk products are prepared? How it is useful to human beings? All this we are going to discuss under this topic. Cattle breeds. Cattle breeds. The Indian cattle include cows and buffaloes. So mostly the Indian cattle, if you see, means cows and buffaloes only. We are completely relied on the milk and milk products. So milk and milk products means it is very important source for human beings also, because it gives the most of the proteins for the human beings. So which is very important for our diet also. The Indian cattle include cows and buffaloes. They are domesticated for milk, meat, leather, and transportation. So, for milk production, for meat and leather production, and transportation purpose also, to carry all to riding the bullock carts, carrying the weights and all. We are using this cows and buffaloes. They belong to two different species. One is Bos indicus, the other one is the Bos bobalis. So Bos indicus means Indian cows and bulls, Bos bobalis means buffaloes. These cattle animals are reared for milk and farm labor. They are classified into three types. One is dairy breeds, the other one is the draught and the dual purpose. Dairy breeds means exclusively giving the milk. Draught means they will be working on the agricultural fleets to plowing the irrigation land and all. And then dual purpose means they will give both milk, also they will do the work on the field also. Dairy breeds. If you take dairy breeds, they are mostly domesticated for milking purpose only. So mostly milk producing females, they are called as milch animals. Also, these milch animals, after giving a birth to young calf, they will be having the lactation period in good way, which means they will produce more milk after giving birth to the younger ones. That is a lactation period. So these dairy breeds are of two types. One is indigenous breeds, the other one is the exotic breeds. Indigenous breeds are native of India. They include Sahiwal, Red Sindhi, Dhioni and Gir. These cattle are well built with strong limbs, prominent hump and loose skin. Milk production depends on the duration of lactation period. So that is what I told you now. So they are having a strong limbs, which means their thighs, their body will be very strong. Body that is prominent hump, they will store their food in their hump, which is prominent, which is very hard also very loose skin they will be having. And they will be their lactation period is the period after the giving birth to the young calf. These local breed animals also, they are very good resistant to diseases, so they will be having a long life span. Exotic breeds, that is Bos Taurus, are imported from foreign countries, which means only for the milking purpose, which is imported from the other countries like Switzerland and all. They would have imported few breeds. They include Jersey, Brown Swiss, Holstein, Friesian, etc. So these foreign breeds are selected for long lactation periods, which means they will produce the more amount of milk. Draught or draft breeds. Draught or draft breeds, they are used for agricultural work such as tilling, irrigation and carting. These include Amrit Mahal, Kangeyam, Ambalacheri, Malvi, Siri and Halikar breeds. Bullocks are good draft animals, while the cows are poor yielders. So now if you see this dual purpose breeds, they will do both the works on the farm work and also they will provide milk. So they include Haryana, Ongole, Kankre and Tarparkar. So these breeds are very mostly favored by farmers in India, because they no need to spend in both the breeds separately. If one breed can do both the works, means that is very useful for the Indians. And if you see draught breeds native to Tamil Nadu, Kangeyam, it is originated in Kangeyam and is observed in Darapuram, Perundurai, Erode, Bhavani and part of Gopichittipalayam taluk of Erode and Coimbatore district is very commonly bred. Puliculam, this breed is commonly seen in Kambam Valley of Madurai district in Tamil Nadu. It is also called as Jallikattu Madu, which is used for Jallikattu purpose also. They are mainly used for penning in the field and for useful for ploughing. So cattle feed. So what is the food given to the cattle feed? So what does it is composed of? என்ன compositionல நம்ம cattleக்கு நம்ம feed பண்றோம். So அவங்க for the healthy life of these cattle and the milk producing requirement, we have to give the required amount of food to them. So it is classified into the feed for the dairy cattle. It is broadly classified into roughages and concentrates. So roughages means they will be coming under the cultivated grass, fodder and root crops. So grass adukagave cultivate panni kondu vandu kudukkறது hay, straw and chaffs and all the roughages. Concentrate means they will be having a different millet varieties, that is carbohydrates, proteins, nutrients ellame they will be mixing and giving in the concentrated amount, only concentrates. That is a variety of raw materials as cholam, that is jowar, kambu, which is pearl millet, and ragi, finger millet, rice bran, wheat bran, cotton seed cake, mustard cake, linseed cake, groundnut cake, mango seed, neem cake, and yellow sesame and yellow cake can be used to make concentrate feed. So idella mix panni concentrate feed. So roughage means it is just only a grass and straw. They should also be fed on green fodder, that is the maize, lucerne, berseem, millet and elephant grass also they will be given. So if you see here are the few pictures and few varieties, cattle breeds are given here. So how do they manage the feed? So feed எப்படி manage பண்றாங்க? Dairy cattle need balanced rations containing all nutrients in proportional amounts. So எல்லாமே proper amountல கொடுக்கணும். And food additives which contains minerals, vitamins, antibiotics and hormones to promote the growth of animals, good yield of milk and to protect them from diseases. The daily average feed ratio of milking cow is, so ஒரு milking cowக்கு எவ்வளோ நம்ம food கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா 15 to 25 kg of roughage, which is the green fodder and dry grass, and then 4 to 5 kg of grain mixture must be given and 100 to 150 liters of water. This is the daily average feed ratio for the milking cow. Dr. Verghese Kurian was founder of National Dairy Development Board and was called the architect of India's modern dairy industry and the father of white revolution. So NDDB designed and implemented the world's largest dairy development program called Operation Flood. Improvement of livestock development in India. So how to improve this breeding and all in India, how to develop all this we'll see now. So first is intensive cattle development program. So under this program it is based on the cross breeding of indigenous cows with exotic. So Indian breed and the other foreign breed நம்ம cross பண்ணி we are getting a new breed. So new methods and milking of cows வந்து அந்த milking lactation வந்து we can increase and modern technologies must be made available for milking the cows. And Operation Flood program, it is based on the dairy commodity aid to increase the milk supply in urban areas. The next topic is vermiculture. Vermiculture involves the artificial rearing and cultivation of earthworms and using them for the production of compost from natural organic waste. So we have already seen what is compost. So here vermiculture means artificially growing the earthworms and taking for the organic waste la போட்டு அதை நம்ம we are making it as a manure. No, that is this technology we call it as vermiculture. Earthworm species used for vermiculture. So what are the earthworm species we use very commonly are Perionyx excavatus, which is an Indian blue worm, Icenia fetida, which is a red worm, Eudrilus eugenia, African night crawler. So vermicomposting, how this vermicomposting is done? It is an important component of organic farming which are convert biowaste into nutrient-rich organic manure by using earthworms. It feeds on the organic waste and excrete in a digested form known as casting. So they take the organic waste and they will excrete the waste that only will be used as an compost. The compost is generally called vermicompost. Vermicompost is the excreta. Worm odia waste than vermicompost, which is a fine granular organic matter formed by the decomposition of organic materials by the earthworm. It is an ideal fertilizer for the soil. Vermicomposting the material. So how to do this vermicomposting process? Biologically degradable organic waste are used as a potential organic resources for vermicomposting. They are agricultural waste and the crop residues and leaf litter, fruit and vegetable waste and the animal waste and biogas slurry. So when it comes to agricultural waste, so இது எல்லாமே நம்ம கலெக்ட் பண்ணி ஒரு கண்டெய்னரில் கம்போஸ்ட் பண்ணிகிட்டே வந்தோம்னா it will get converted into a manure. Agricultural waste are what? Crop residue, vegetable waste, sugar cane trash எல்லாமே we can use. Crop residues means rice straw, tea waste, cereals and pulses residue, rice husk, tobacco waste, coir waste and all we can use. Animal waste means cattle dung, poultry dropping, pig slurry, goat, sheep and other cattle droppings and biogas slurry we can use it. So now how to do this vermicompost in a bin? So bin method. It is rearing of earthworms in a container or a bin எடுத்துக்கணும். So bin methodல we have to take a container or a bin. The container is half filled with bedding materials. So bedding materialsனா என்னது? Shredded cupboard. So waste cupboardலாம் போட்டுட்டு கீழே waste shred பண்ணி போட்டுறணும் and leaves can be used. And then paddy husk, chopped straw, sawdust and manure has to be taken as a half container. Now small quantity of soil and sand is added to provide necessary grit for the worms. So in order to provide a life for the worms, it should be added with the soil, small quantity only, not too much. The bedding material should be moistened by adding water that enables free movement for the worms. So நம்ம bedding material add பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமா soil add பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமா we have to pour water into that so that the worms can move inside very easily. The worms are gently placed and spread evenly on the bedding. So after this we have to put the worms into the bedding. Organic waste, mother's kitchen waste, vegetable and fruit waste can be added or fed by the earthworms. So the bin is covered with coconut leaves or gunny bags to conserve moisture and provide darkness and keep out of the pest. So இதை நம்ம இந்த worms எல்லாம் போட்டதுக்கு அப்புறமா நம்ம அந்த organic waste வந்துட்டு நம்ம ஃபேட் பண்ணணும் அந்த worms, earthworms. Or after a period of 60 days, the wastes are completely transformed into a nutrient-rich material that are excreted by earthworms known as worm castings. Or 60 days கழிச்சு அது ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு organic manure convert ஆயிருக்கும். So this is the arrangement how we can do. So it is not that you have to take any costly material. So just ஒரு place waste plastic buckets இருந்தா கூட we can do this to get up organic manure without spending any cost at home itself. We can use this for the healthier growth of our plants at home. You can try this also. What are the advantages of vermicompost? Vermicompost is dark brown in color and similar to farmyard manure in color and appearance. It is a rich source of nutrients essential for plant growth. It makes the soil fertile, which means soil healthy. It improves the water holding capacity and helps to prevent the soil erosion. So soil erosion irukadu, water jaasti idu store panni vekkum. It contains valuable vitamins which are enzymes and growth regulator substances for increasing the growth, vigor and yield of a plant. So plant ku nalla nutrients kadikumbodhu the growth will be very quick for the plant. It enhances the decomposition of organic matter in the soil. So organic matter easier decompose ஆகிறதுக்கு இது ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும். Vermicompost is free from pathogens and toxic elements. இதில் எந்த chemicals கிடையாது. It is rich in beneficial microflora. So these are the very major useful of vermicompost. We are not going to spend anything. We are just going to use the waste to produce the good nutrients for the plants. So you all can do this at home. Last topic is apiculture. So what is apiculture? It is the rearing of honeybee for honey. It is also called beekeeping. It is a profitable rural based industry. Honeybees are domesticated by farming to produce honey. What are the types of honeybee? There are 3 types of individuals in an honeybee colony, namely queen bee, the drones and the worker bees. So if you see, we have so many places, so you would have seen in so many places, that is in trees or under any old buildings and all, you could have seen the bee hive. நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பீங்க. அதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய bees இருக்கும், எல்லாமே ஒரே மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும், but the size நம்ம கிட்ட போய் பார்க்கும்போது தான் you can see the difference, where you can have 3 three types of individuals. One is queen bee, worker bee, and the drone bee. So what is the role of queen bee, drone, and worker? So queen bee is the largest member and the fertile female of the colony, which means they are only fertile, means they are producing the eggs. They are formed from fertile eggs. The queen is responsible for laying eggs in the colony. So they are responsible only to lay eggs in the colony. Drones, colony means what? The beehive தான் அவங்க colonyன்னு சொல்றாங்க. Drones, they are fertile males. So இவங்க எல்லாமே males. Queen bee வந்து female, drones are all male. They develop from unfertilized egg. Unfertilized eggs they will be developing. They are the larger than the worker and the smaller than the queen bee. Queen bee விட சின்னதா இருக்கும், but worker bee விட larger-ஆ இருக்கும். Their main function is to fertilize the egg produced by the queens. So queen bees வந்து egg lay பண்ணிருக்கோம் இல்லையா, அதை fertilize பண்றது தான் இந்த drones உடைய வேலை. Workers என்ன பண்ணோம்? There are sterile female bees. Sterile female bees means they will not be able to lay eggs or give birth to young ones. So sterile females and are the smallest members of the colony. Their function is what? Their major function is to collect honey and look after the young ones. So இவங்களோட வேலை, இவங்க வந்து they cannot give birth to young ones. So they have to look after the young ones and collect the honey bees and clean the comb, defend the hive, which means hive வந்து யாராச்சும் அட்டாக் பண்ண வந்தாங்கன்னா they have to protect and maintain the temperature of the beehive. இதுதான் workers உடைய major work. So worker bees plays the major role in the colony. You can see the picture here. So what are the varieties of honeybees we use? So we use the Apis dorsata, which is rock bee or wild bee, Apis florea, little bee, Apis indica is the Indian bee. Exotic varieties, Apis mellifera, that is Italian bee, Apis adamsoni, which is the African bee. Structure of bee comb. How the structure of bee comb will be? The comb of the bees is formed mainly by the secretion of the wax glands present in the abdomen of the worker bee. The comb is vertical sheet of wax with a double layer of hexagonal cells. You know what is hexagon? With a double layer wax, sheet of wax with a double layer cells. So it will be hexagonal cells. Formation of honey. The honey bees suck the nectar from various flowers. The nectar passes to the honey sac. In the honey sac, sucrose present in the nectar mixes with the acidic secretion and by enzymatic action it is converted into honey, which is stored in a special chambers of the hive. So எப்படி honey form ஆகுது? honey bees என்ன பண்ணும்? ஃப்ளவர்ஸ்ல இருந்து நெக்டார்ஸ் வந்து சக் பண்ணி கலெக்ட் பண்ணி எடுத்துட்டு வரும். அதை கொண்டு வந்து honey sackல drop பண்ணும். ஸோ honey sackல என்ன இருக்கும்? சுக்ரோஸ் present ஆயிருக்கும் அந்த honey sackல. அந்த நெக்டார் அதோட மிக்ஸ் ஆகி ஆசிட் செக்ரீட் ஆகி என்சைமேட்டிக் ஆக்ஷன்ஸ்னால இந்த ஹனி என்னாகும்? புதுசாக கிரியேட் ஆகி அதுலேயே ஸ்டோர் ஆகும். குவாலிட்டி ஆஃப் ஹனிபி டிபெண்ட்ஸ் அப்பான் த ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் அவைலபிள் டு த பீஸ் ஃபார் நெக்டார் அண்ட் போலன் கலெக்ஷன். ஸோ குவாலிட்டி, எல்லா ஹனியோட குவாலிட்டியும் ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்காது. ஸோ எந்த பிளான்ட், எந்த ஃப்ளவர்லேருந்து அவங்க அந்த ஹனீஸை கலெக்ட் பண்ணி நெக்டார்ஸை கலெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு வராங்களோ அந்த ஒர்க்கர் பீஸு, அதை பொறுத்து தான் ஹனியோட குவாலிட்டியும் இருக்கும். ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் ஹனிபி. என்னென்ன ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் எல்லாமே இருக்குது? ஹனிபீஸ் ஆர் யூஸ்ட் இன் த ப்ரொடக்ஷன் ஆஃப் ஹனி அண்ட் பீ வேக்ஸ். தே ஆர் வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல். பீ வேக்ஸ் எல்லாமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த காஸ்மெட்டிக்ஸ் எல்லாமே யூஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு பீஸ் வேக்ஸ் காமனாக யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதர் யூஸ்ஃபுல் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் obtained from honey bees are the pollen, royal jelly, propolis and bee venom also prepared. Honey is a sweet, viscous, edible, natural product. Dextrose and sucrose give sweet taste to honey. So honey let sweet taste yaar kudukra? Dextrose and sucrose. It also contains amino acids, B complex vitamin, ascorbic acid, minerals, formic acid, and which is a preservative acting in honey, and invertase is an enzyme present in honey. So enzymes, mostly if you see what is a major enzyme, invertase is present. Apart from that, you are having so many nutrients in this honey because which is very healthy for our human body. What preserves the honey? Formic acid preserves the honey. Uses. Honey has an antiseptic and antibacterial property. It is a blood purifier. It helps in building up hemoglobin content in the blood. It is used in Ayurvedic and Unani system of medicine. It prevents cough, cold, fever and sore throat. And it is a remedy for ulcers of tongues and stomach and intestine. It enhances digestion and appetite. So these are the medicinal importance of honey. So many uses are there. Honeybees visits up to 50 to 100 flowers during collection trip. Average bee will make only 1 by 12th of a teaspoon of honey in its lifetime. அப்போ ஒரு லைஃப் டைமில் ஒரு டீஸ்பூனில் ஒரு பார்ட்டு தான், ஒரு ஸ்பூனில் 12 பார்ட்னா அதில் ஒரு பார்ட்டு தான் an average bee will produce in its lifetime itself. Okay, so how much little, let's see. So 1 kilogram of honey contains 3,200 calories and is an energy rich food. So how difficult for an honeybee to produce 1 tablespoon of honey, you see. So it is very useful also, healthy also, and the process also is very difficult. So with this the lesson gets over. Classworks will be sent to you as PDF files. Thank you, students.